Congratulations, you have made it. We are at video 5, the last video in our series, the 5 P's of Revocable Living Trusts. I'm Amy Privet, the attorney for Privet Legacy Planning. We have talked about privacy. We've talked about probate avoidance, prevention and protection, and today, preservation. And there's really only 2 points that I want to make when I'm talking about trusts in the realm of preservation. One is that the trust can preserve assets for generations. And the idea behind this is that the trust never dies. You and me, we're going to die. Your trust doesn't have to. There's this really complicated rule that is the source of nightmares for all law students called the Rule Against Perpetuities, the RAP. And all you need to know about the Rule Against Perpetuities is the rule says we cannot have a trust live on into perpetuity. We cannot have a trust that is always in existence. And North Carolina has adopted its own laws against the Rule Against Perpetuities. So for our purposes, a trust can live on and preserve wealth for generations. You see it sometimes called a Dynasty Trust, where assets are just poured from one generation to another generation to another generation to another generation. And it's that same idea that trust can preserve wealth, can preserve assets for years and decades to come. Probably what affects you and me a little bit more in this preservation realm is the idea that the trust can be used to preserve income streams. So because a trust does not die, if the trust, one of the assets that's held in that trust is income producing property, for example, a business. Another example might be real estate that is being rented out and driving residual income into the trust on a periodic basis. There is no requirement that when you pass away, we must sell that business or sell that property and cut off that stream of income. We can preserve that income stream for however long we want to. And in the previous video, I was talking about protection and how sometimes we need to protect heirs from themselves, especially if we have heirs that are younger. Well, maybe at some point they will be ready to take over the family business, but they're not there yet. Using the trust to preserve that business and have a temporary manager or someone who's in charge until your children reach the point that you would feel comfortable with them taking on the reins, that is a great way to use a trust for this preservation. So it's short and sweet. There's not a lot to talk about in this area, but it is an idea that's worth exploring. It's a benefit that revocable living trusts have to offer above and beyond a will, which is pretty much a one-shot, you die, the assets pass, it's over with the idea that the trust can live on and does not expire when you do. It gives us the opportunity to preserve these assets.